Hey, Wizard here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Dad's Monster House going for the 3 ending-related achievements, and we're going to be trying to get these in a single playthrough. So, before you start working on these achievements, you need to make sure you get to the point in the story where you are ready to go for the ending-related stuff. The first thing that is going to be required in order to go for the ending-related stuff is going to be the 3 ingredients you need to craft the antidote in order to cure your dad. Ingredient number one is going to be the fish bones. You get this by draining the pool and then grabbing the fish out of that, bringing the fish back to the kitchen to put in the boiling pot of water, and then pulling the fish bones out of the pots once you turn off the stove. Then for ingredient number two, this one requires you to get the popcorn from the kid in the game room, bringing that over to the tower to give to the bird to get the flower, and then taking the flower down to the courtyard to trade the girl for the shell. And for ingredient number three, this one's going to require that you grab the hat out of the conservatory after fixing the elevator and after grabbing the bucket from the bathroom and then bringing that over to the plant. You're going to bring the hat over to the bucket and then you're going to dunk it into Diet Black. Then you're going to bring that to the garage to trade the sisters for the tooth right here. In addition to those, you're also going to need to find the propeller and the tentacle in order to get the last area where your dad is being held open. So once you have all 5 of those things, what you want to do is make sure you head into the secret room. We are going to back up our save here. So depending on what console you're playing this on, you're going to apply this accordingly. On PlayStation, you want to make sure you manually back things up. On Xbox, you want to make sure you back out to main menu and then quit the game in order to force a cloud save and then reboot the game shortly thereafter. Once you are back into the game, make sure you continue, and that should put you exactly where we left off. We are now free to pursue one particular ending achievement, and then we should be good to back up from here to go for the other ones later on. So whenever you're ready, make sure you head downstairs into the laboratory, and then what you want to do is want to make sure you craft the antidote. You're going to do this by putting the 3 ingredients in the beaker on the left side right here. So to recap, that's going to be the fish bones, the shell, and the tooth. Make sure you pop that in, and that should craft you the antidote in the form of the pill that's going to be popped into the test tube on the right side. Now, the reason we made the save right before we started crafting the antidote is because the ending related achievements are going to be based on this fork. One of the ending achievements is going to require that you craft the antidote before freeing your dad, and the other one is going to be to craft it after freeing your dad. So we are obviously going for the one where we craft it before first. So once you have the antidote in hand, make sure you leave and then head back into the house. Make sure you head towards where your dad is. If you don't know where that is, your dad is going to be located in the lab that's going to be underneath the pool. Obviously, we have drained the pool already in order to get the fish for that first potion ingredient. So we're going to basically head back there, and then we're going to take the staircase down. Now, once we are in the hidden area, you are going to need the 2 ingredients in order to get past the obstacles. So you need to make sure you have the propeller, which is going to get you past the first gate, and then you're also going to need to have the tentacle in order to get past the monster. So you are going to want to use those appropriately where they go. The propeller is going to be found in the conservatory after solving a certain puzzle box, and the tentacle is going to be found in the garage after solving a certain puzzle in order to get it out of its tank. So make sure you take care of those 2 obstacles, and that should move everything out of the way, giving you passage further into the hidden lab. Now, in order to free your dad, you're going to have to do another pair of puzzles. The first one is going to be the door to get into the final area. This one is just going to be a word puzzle. The only thing you have to do is you have to make sure you spell the word margin. So it's going to be Margin. So make sure you pop that in, and that should get the final door open. And then once we are in here, we're going to need to hit the activation switch right here on the left. This is going to require that you punch in this set of symbols right here. So just make sure you copy this in your game, and then once you punch in these symbols, your dad is going to be freed, and then you have a 3-minute timer in order to try to cure him. So for this first go around, it should be pretty simple. Just open up your inventory, grab the antidote out, and then just drag it over to him. You should cure him, and that should give you the fully prepared achievement. As soon as the achievement unlocks, just make sure you reload your backed up save. If you are on PlayStation and if you are on Xbox, make sure you do the cloud save trick, and that should restore the appropriate save you need so we can go for the other set of achievements. So just make sure, whatever you do, just make sure you load up that game using that backup save we made earlier. Once we are back in the game, we should be free to pursue the other path of the fork, which is going to require that we save our dad after we free him from the tank. So just make sure you head back to where he was, and this time what you want to do is you want to make sure you do this without heading into the basement in order to craft the antidote. So just make sure you get past all of the obstacles and all the puzzles like normal and free your dad from the tank. Now, before we actually do anything, we're going to go for an additional achievement that requires us to get the bad ending. To do this, just make sure you let the timer expire. You are going to have to sit there for the totality of 3 minutes. So just make sure you put the controller down, let the clock run out, and then once your dad transforms into a monster, you should get the bad ending, which should give you the sad story achievement for 50 gamer score. You are free to continue, which is going to put you right outside the door before you get in to free him from the tank. So now that we have loaded this up, we can go for that other achievement that requires us to craft the antidote after freeing him from the tank. So make sure you do that puzzle to free him from the tank, and then we have the same 3 minutes, but this time we're going to use it in order to rush back to the basement in order to craft the antidote. Thankfully, we still have the items that we need as ingredients in order to try to craft the antidote. So basically, the 3 minutes are going to be used in order to try to bring all 3 ingredients back to the basement, craft the antidote, and then get back to the area under the pool. So this should take you about 2 minutes or so you have a little bit of room for margin of error. Nonetheless, just try to make it there as quickly as possible. Fastest way is obviously to get out from the pool and then cross the backyard. Once you see the tree, head back into the house and then start heading right until you get into the TV room. Make sure you go behind the bookcase into the secret room, and then downstairs, quickly pop those ingredients into the beaker, grab the pill, and then just make sure you do the inverse to get back. And then once you get back, you are going to be free to try to cure your dad. So the bulk of your time is definitely going to be on waiting for the pill to make its journey across the tube. So make sure you are a little patient during this part, but don't forget to grab it before leaving, as you might forget. And then once you are sure you have that thing in your inventory, it's time to punch it back all the way underneath the pool and then back into the final room. Here we are with about a minute to spare. Make sure you give your dad that pill, and that should cure him of his affliction and give you the appropriate good ending with this requirement that gets us this achievement. There it is, 50 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.